morning, and welcome to my channel that's all about horror. My name is Aaliyah, and when I was a kid, I mean too young, I started watching scary movies like it was my job. Nothing gave me more comfort than seeing deaths by planes, trains, and automobiles. Tonight, I'm gonna be talking about my favorite Christmas movie, and it's not A Christmas Story.
Oh, I see.
But it is very delightful and frightful. That being said, there will be some spoilers. And if you don't like that, come and get me. Who is that? Is somebody there? Who is it? I often get asked, what's your favorite horror film? And I always say The Lost Boys. But I rarely get asked, what film do I actually think is the scariest? And if I did, I'd have to say the 1974 film Black Christmas. Sometime in the last 10 or 15 years, it seems, Black Christmas has finally started to get the recognition it deserves for its impact and influence on the horror slasher subgenre. From its feministic heroine to its disturbing killer, Black Christmas succeeds at being one of the most chilling, unsettling,
Agnes, don't you tell what we did, Agnes.
and terrifying horror films ever made.
Well, they scared the shit out of me.
The ladies at Pi Kappa Sig are enjoying their big holiday party when they receive yet another obscene phone call from an anonymous creeper. This call, however, freaks them out when he ends the call with,
"I'm going to kill you."
and then when one of the girls who is meant to be going home for the holidays never makes it there, the rest of them who've stayed behind are left wondering if it could all be connected and if they're going to be next. From the moment the film starts on a shot of the sorority house while Silent Night plays drearily in the background, the tone is set. And it's saying this is not going to be your usual cheery Christmas film. You see the killer climb up the side of the house and enter through the attic, where he sort of lives for the rest of the film, and we get an obscene phone call, and it's wild. The creep, who we'll call Billy because he sort of calls himself that, starts screaming into the phone and is like throwing some C words out there. It's pretty comical because of how absurd it is.
He's expanded his act.
I even had a hard time getting on board when I first watched it, but it's definitely worth it because the absurdity is there to show us how deranged and disturbed and sick he really is. And then, right after that call, he makes his first kill, which ends up being the most vicious in the entire film.
Who is that? Who is it?
Now, what makes this particular death so freaky is that it's what drives the story. Everyone sets out to find this missing girl, and he just props her up in a chair and puts her by the window in the attic, and she goes undiscovered for the entire film. Now, Black Christmas ultimately lacks in gore and on-screen deaths besides that one, but I've never had an issue with it because I think it does a great job at being frightening and chilling without all of it.
Okay, what's the name of the movie with the vampires?
Twilight?
Okay, bye.
You didn't even hang up. You just put me on pause.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. Let me get out of here.
I'm still here.
I'm getting ready to let you go.
I love the characters in this film. They add so much life and substance to the story that I just grew to like them quickly. And they're also strong characters, and they made me feel a sense of security, which I know is weird to say about a horror film. John Saxon, who you might recognize from A Nightmare on Elm Street, plays a cop in this one too, and he's surprisingly competent and made me feel like everything was gonna be all right with him around. Margot Kidder plays Barb, a fantastically funny drunk,
I think the little bugger snockered, son of a bitch.
and Olivia Hussey plays our soft-spoken yet strong-willed protagonist Jess, whose character arc involves pregnancy and abortion, and it's really raw, real, and relatable for me. These are the kinds of characters I love to see in horror films because the higher the stakes, the higher the fear. The scariest moment, and also my favorite moment, is when Sergeant Nash, who's been goofing up on really important tasks the entire film,
I didn't want to bother you with it, sir.
must call Jess and calmly tell her to leave the house.
Hello?
Miss Bradford, this is Sergeant Nash. Are you the only one in the house?
No. Phil and Bob are upstairs asleep. Why?
All right. Now, I want you to do exactly what I tell you without asking any questions, okay? No questions. Now, just put the phone back on the hook, walk to the front door, and leave the house.
What's wrong?
Please, Miss Bradford, please just do as I tell you.
Okay. I'll get Phil and Bob.
No, don't do that, Jess.
The entire scene just fills me with so much anxiety, I can hardly take it. Olivia Hussey, who once again was very soft-spoken, lets out one of the most frightened screams I've ever heard in a horror film, and it gives me goosebumps every time I watch it.
Phil! Bob! Oh, please answer me! Phil! Bob! Please answer me! Please answer me! Please!
Two really important things are left unresolved by the time the credits roll. We never see the killer, and that's because a lot of his kills are point of view. We never see what he looks like. And I think that's amazing. We don't need a backstory. We don't need any silly kinds of like excuses, things that the remake decided to go with. We don't really need all that. We just know that this guy is sick, and that's enough. And second, we are left feeling unsettled because our heroine's victory is not really a victory. She is left in the house alone with this sicko, and she doesn't have a happy ending. We're sent home and we're sent to bed with the chilling fact that she is probably going to suffer the same brutal slaying as her sisters. The film ends the same way it started, with a shot of the sorority house, except this time around, it's not full of life and jolly fun like it was when we opened. It's, dark. All the lights are out. Everyone that was once in it is no longer. And the credits start to roll. And I think that's a fantastic way to end a horror film. I can't go a December without watching this film, and neither should you. Black Christmas is available on YouTube for free with ads, and available on Shudder. May you all have a Merry Christmas and a bloody... Is somebody there? Who is that? Ah!